G'day guys, so today I am going to try and address the oil leak or leaks that are coming from the engine of the Hillman. Last time I talked about how there was some oil leaking out from the fuel pump here. You've got to excuse the lighting here. I'm just trying out a new camera and I don't know how to turn the flash on. This oil sump's been off in the past and I've obviously used silicone, but I don't know if it's got a paper gasket on it as well. But we're going to take it off because it's leaking a lot. There's a lot of old oil and dirt at the back of it. I've been around and tightened all these sort of bolts up. And it doesn't feel wet at all, it's just dirty, but I do want to take it off, and I've got a new gasket to go on there, and I want to check the sump and just make sure there's no sludge in the bottom. It's also leaking oil out of the gearbox. The front seal is gone on it, but it's a little bit difficult to tell, but it does drip oil down, so it's dripping off here. And there's a lot of gunk, there's a lot of old oily dirt inside the bell housing because there's a hole on the other side of the bell housing. So at some stage we'll drain the oil. I'll put in a solution which rejuvenates oil seals and see if that stops it. Right, so I've managed to get the pump off, and inside there, I don't know if you can see, but it's a tiny little copper or brass washer which keeps seals off the hose and prevents fuel from coming back out the pump. Anyway, this was a bit of a mission to get off, but this is the spacer. I've got another one I might put on. Oh, maybe that one's okay. Anyway, this was the gasket which was against the fuel pump, and then this is the gasket which is against the block, and yeah, it's been leaking oil, so I've got another gasket, an old one in the parts box, which I'll replace this, so I can replace this. But yeah, it's definitely been leaking. That's really brittle, that one. That might have been I think this was a new gasket that came with the gasket kit when I rebuilt the pump, but I think this was an original older gasket, so it's quite, yeah, it was really brittle. So anyway, we'll clean all this up and get some silicone on here and get it back on. Yeah, so I've got this, I've tidied up all the edges now, all the surfaces anyway, on the fuel pump. I've actually found a few more old gaskets lying around which are still in good condition, so I've got another full set of gaskets. I think maybe what the problem was when I put this fuel pump back on, I had the gaskets around the wrong way. So there's one here which is, sorry about the light, it's got a hole in the top, and it's actually supposed to sit, well, the way I've worked it out is it sits over the pump like that, because there's a little thing down here, channel, I don't know what that's for, but anyway, I think that's how it goes. But I had this, well, not this exact one, this one here up against the block, and I think maybe oil's dripping out of this hole here, so I think I might have had the gaskets around the wrong way. Anyway, cleaned up the spacer, and I cleaned up the surface of the block there. Where is it? Just down. The light is not good in here. the block. Now while I was in here I was thinking I've got another set of engine mounts, and while I've got this pump out maybe I should change out that engine mount. But I just, to get this off, I think it wouldn't be relatively easy, but there's a bolt and under here which bolts onto the secures the mount from below, and I haven't got a socket short enough to get my socket wrench into to get that undone, and I just don't, I think it would take me quite a while to swap that out. I think this one's still okay. I just don't have the, I just haven't got the time to do that at the moment, but next time I'll make sure I get the right gear and then we can get this off. I actually, this nut was loose, so I just tightened it up. Yeah. The engine mount on this side is a lot more worse for wear. It's bubbled, and I'll probably be able to get this one off a little bit easier than the other side. There's a bit more room. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get the pump back on. So I think the way these gaskets go is that one goes like that, and then the spacer, and then yeah, sort of like that, I'm guessing. So I'll just put on some gasket sealer and then I'll shove it back on, and you stick it on, you let it sort of cure for like an hour, and then you torque it down. So we'll do that. Well, I managed to get the pump back on, and I'd forgotten how much of a pain in the arse it was. I had to take the battery out because I couldn't get my fat arm in here to get the screw or this nut on, and I had to take the top of the pump off. There's just no room, so I've hand tightened them, and then I'll just leave it for an hour and I'll come back and I'll torque them down. If you haven't seen the side one of these pumps before, they're pretty basic. This is the rubber diaphragm which moves up and down. There's a spring under here as the cam rotates and turns that actuating arm, and this is the top of the pump here. Yeah, and other valves inside. So pretty basic, but quite an effective little pump. Do you ever see that movie Ghostbusters, where they say never cross the beams? Well, I was doing up the negative battery terminal here, and yeah, crossed the beam, didn't I? Took a big chunk out of this terminal and did a bit of DIY welding. Yeah, it gave me a hell of a fright. Anyway, we'll carry on doing up these terminals, and we've connected up the fuel lines in and out that pump, and then we can get this thing started up. We'll just turn it over with the starter solenoid. The ignition's not on. We'll just see that fuel pump fill up. Hopefully you can see it. Choke on. Let's see if this thing will start, not explode. Oh yeah. Yep, it's all good, it's not leaking. pumping away, doing its thing. Not leaking fuel anyway. The test will be to see if it leaks any oil. So we'll get it out for a run, probably tomorrow, and we'll just see how it goes. The car just runs so much better since I tuned it up, dialed in that timing. So hopefully the fuel pump gaskets are holding now with that silicone, and that we've actually got the gaskets around the right way. So there shouldn't be any more oil leaks. So yeah, unfortunately I'm not going to be able to deal with that oil sump gasket this weekend. I've run out of time because the fuel pump took quite a few hours to sort out. I'm probably going to need a whole weekend to deal with that. car back into the garage and we'll have a look under to see if there are any oil leaks. Okay guys, well the car's been sitting for about an hour now. There are no leaks from the lines, from the fuel lines. If I put my hand down underneath, no oil on my fingers, and by now there would have been like a puddle of oil on the cardboard here. And it's not dripping off the subframe and it's not wet. It's just some old oil, but there's no fresh oil. I actually think that that oil leak, yeah, was coming from the fuel pump. I think we might have actually fixed something. I don't think the sump is as bad as what I initially thought it was, that sump gasket, but I'm going to take it off in the next video, like I said, and replace the gasket, freshen it all up, clean it all up. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Thanks for coming along with me on this one, and we'll see you in the next one.